Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Tapp here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, I got an announcement to make. I tweaked my ankle over the weekend, and I don't think I can make it through the show. I got an excuse for the rest of the show, so you got me, Shannon.
Oh.
I got a bad ankle,
So
like somebody else I know who's going to be making excuses through the whole playoffs.
So that's why you.
It's not 100%.
I'm just making sure. So that's why you're out the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tweaked ankle.
I had ankle
It
injury.
all makes sense. It all makes sense. Oh,
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting. You guys are fired up about LeBron over there because we do need to begin by discussing the Lakers. Despite ending the regular season on a 5-game winning streak, the Lakers will face the Warriors in the play-in tournament tomorrow. Lakers fans, like Skip mentioned, had, that brief scare in the fourth quarter of Sunday's win over the Pelicans when LeBron appeared to re-injure his right ankle and was slow to get up. But after the game, LeBron said, quote, "It was a tweak. I stepped on Nickeil Alexander-Walker's foot on the way down after the last layup, but I'll be fine." So, Shannon, any problem with LeBron still in the game that late, and how will it affect them moving forward right now?
No, hell, I wish AD and Drummond was in the game as late as LeBron was because they need time and Skip. LeBron has only played, 2 games in the last couple of weeks. He missed almost 8 weeks of the regular season. They need repetitions together because, like you said, LeBron hasn't played with a guy like Drummond that's going to be on the court for that length of time in a very long time. And they got a nice relationship, Skip. If you notice, his main high pick and roll guy now is Andre Drummond.
Big Penguin.
Big Drum.
Yeah.
And you see we getting double-digit rebounds, offensive rebounds. Yeah, you saw
Look
that.
out. League. Here they come.
Yeah. I'm glad you noticed that. I'm glad you noticed that. I didn't have to bring it to your attention. Skip, he needs repetition. And that's the thing that you worry about, Skip, if you're going into the playoffs. Or if you have an injury, is that you worry about re-injuring it in a freak incident. And that's what it was. It was a freak incident where he laid the ball up and came down on the guy's foot. And we see that happens a lot in basketball. Guys jump and guys, you land on the guy's foot, and sometimes it's more severe than others. And that's what happened in that situation. But I do not have a problem with LeBron being in the basketball game for the simple fact he needs repetitions. He has not played in an extremely long time. It's only a second game back in 2 weeks. He's only played 4 games in 8 weeks. So the thing that LeBron needs is to knock the rust off by playing, and that's what he did. Try to get his win back. They're doing a great job, Skip. I think he played, 27, 28 minutes? He hadn't played a whole lot. Knowing come playoff time, Skip, you're not on a minutes restriction because the thing about this game here, Skip, and that's what makes football football different than basketball. Every football playoff game, Skip, is a game 7. And this situation now is a little bit different. You win this game, Skip, you go to the 7th spot. You lose this game, you wait for the win of the 9-10, and then you have who's going to win for the 8th spot. So I get all that, Skip, but LeBron James needed the repetition. Hell, like I said earlier, I wish AD and Drum was in there with him, getting their reps together, because we're going to need those 3 big guys to play really, really well, especially against Steph Curry that's shooting the ball extremely well. But I don't have a problem with him playing. I wish he could have played a little bit more, hadn't tweaked his ankle, and could have got 3 or 4 more minutes. So I don't want to hear you talk about he should have been playing.
Okay, and going forward, you think it will be X factor. What will the factor be?
The thing, hopefully, Skip, he doesn't re-injure it. It looks to me, Skip, he's about 85%. He picks his spots where he could just turn it on. You see a couple of those steals, Skip, he shoots the gap. He can get there. And then other times you're like, nah, maybe next time. And so there are spots that he can be LeBron that we remember. And then there are other times you're like, yeah, it's still a factor. But I believe if he doesn't re-injure it, I believe that he'll just get better and better and better. And we'll see how it plays out.
Okay, my turn. I'm going to ask once more on this show, across from you, LeShannon Sharp.
Yeah.
How does LeBron James keep getting a pass for things that were completely within his control? That was his choice to stay that late in that game. And it's like those billions of blind witnesses out there, it's hear no evil, see no evil when it comes to LeBron James. And you can be the leader of that fan club.
Okay.
But this was the most outrageous yet because this was 6:41 left in what had become a terribly meaningless game. If AD and the Big Penguin, Dre Drum, if they were both out there, you might have me. I might say, okay, you were actually trying to work on your cohesion and your chemistry. I could get that.
Yeah.
But LeBron was out there with a bunch of backups, and they weren't playing the New Orleans Pelicans. They were playing the New Orleans Skeletons. They were the Skeletons because, as you well know, there was no Zion, no Lonzo, no B.I.,
Nope.
no Steven Adams,
Nope.
no Josh Hart.
Nope.
And at that point, there was no even Jackson Hayes, who's a great young shot blocker, and I thought he had torn his knee up shortly before this.
Yeah.
And fortunately, it came back just some sort of leg contusion, which I was
like it hyperextended.
I don't know, but I was pleasantly shocked because he looked like he was crying as they carried him off.
He was.
And he did not walk off as LeBron did way back when he first hurt his ankle under his own power. So there's virtually nobody left on the floor for the Skeletons. And LeBron is still alone out there as a Lakers starter. And he's front running. He's showboating. He's hot dogging. He's laying it on thick like whipped cream with cherry on top.
He just laid the ball up.
Okay. He did not just lay the ball up. If we could see it one more time, he does a 360 spin layup.
Has he ever done that before?
Well, yes, he has.
Okay.
But again, is this not dangerous at this point in the game? 360 spin on Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Right.
And I guess he came down on his foot. I couldn't really see it, that he turned it over, but it didn't look that bad. But then his reaction looked that scary bad because he stayed down for a second. He grimaced. He groaned. He raised it up. He held it, for a second. And he walked very gingerly to the bench. And I'm thinking it didn't look any better than the first time we're going to talk about the Solomon Hill play a little later in the show. But he walked that one off.
Right.
And I did watch the post game live on the local Lakers station here in Los Angeles, and they had Anthony Davis on first. And Anthony said, well, I don't think it's too bad because he was walking around in the locker room.
Right.
So I'm not going to worry about it until he tells me to worry about it. And actually, AD said that the irony was he actually also tweaked his ankle in the game.
It looked like he did. You see him tighten up his feet.
And so now here we go again. AD always dinged. He's always dinged with some way, somehow, right? Yeah. Okay, so help me out here. All we've heard about for weeks on end, at least 6 weeks, is LeBron's ankle. I've been starting to call him La Ankle. And he's out there with nobody, against nobody. It looked like open gym at the YMCA at noontime. Seriously. That is as dangerous a time to be playing basketball as you can have, because you're out there with people who might not even be on this team next year for the Skeletons.
Well, but he's got to get ready. Skip, let me ask you a question. Now, all last year and coming into this season, you talked about the thing that hurt the Clippers is they didn't have time to play together. Paul George was out, and Kawhi was out, and this one was out, that one was out. You said it hurt them come playoff time because they didn't have a chance to play together. Okay, LeBron James is trying to get a rhythm back after he's been away basically for 8 weeks. He's trying to get his timing, his rhythm back. You criticize that. I remember when LeBron was not playing in regular season games, all you did was criticize him, say Michael Jordan played nine times. He played 82 games. Kobe didn't miss a game. So if LeBron plays, he's front running. If he doesn't play, Kobe and Jordan never missed a game. So how does he win?
Michael was never hurt except for his second year when he broke his leg.
Yes.
But he was never, ever hurt after that, so there was no reason for him to miss games.
Well, he took a year and a half off. What about the year and a half he took off?
Okay, you know and I know what that was.
But did he take it off, Skip?
Okay, but was it because he was hurt?
I'm just asking you a question. His feet were hurt because they said the pressure would get to him. What about the 3 years he took off after the last title? Okay, so he got 5 years break.
Forced into retirement, so that has nothing to do with this, because this is all we've heard about is LeBron came back for Sacramento and Toronto. He missed the last second shot against Sacramento. They got humiliated at home by Toronto. And all of a sudden he says, I can't go. I need more time off. And he takes almost another week off.
He took another week off.
Right?
Yes, he did.
And he comes back on Friday night at Indiana. And I thought they looked great at Indiana. I thought he looked 1,000% at Indiana. And I thought Dre Drum and AD and KC3 and Schroeder, everybody, I thought the chemistry and cohesion looked superlative on Friday night at Indiana.
So in other words, I just want to make sure I'm hearing you straight, correctly. So they looked as good against Indiana as they did to start the season when they started the season 21-6 and they were the number 1 seed. So they looked that good.
They looked healthy. They looked whole. Of course, there was no Sabonis. There was no Brogdon. There was no Miles Turner, but I could go on.
But here's the Skip. Think about it. Schroeder's been in protocol for 2 weeks. LeBron's played basically 4 games in 8 weeks. AD came back after missing 6 to 8 weeks. And you said they picked right back up where they left off. You know that's impossible.
No, I've seen a lot of teams do it. I've seen the Clippers do it.
No, you didn't.
I've seen the Nets do it all year long.
All you see
they walk out on the floor like they haven't missed a dribble.
Hold on. But you got to realize, didn't the Nets lose like 7 straight games, like 5 straight games? Just recently, they lost like 5 games in a row.
Okay, but every time James Harden steps on the floor, he looks like
so. Where's James Harden?
James Harden.
Is James Harden faking then? Because he came back, played 1 game, and then he missed another game. So he faking.
Who you got winning these?
I just asked you a simple question.
Who you got winning these? That's the simplest question.
No, but
I got the Nets. I'll bet you got the Nets.
But